All right, hey, Dave Dayton here with ARS-TV. I'm out here with Ted Peters. And Ted Peters, you are a tech inspector and a chassis inspector. Tell us about your capacity at Route 66 as far as the tech goes.
Okay, at Route 66, I'm a technical inspector. So when a car comes to the track, I make sure it's safe to go down the track and the driver has all his safety equipment. I also do tech for the NHRA as far as Division 3, and in the same capacity as checking safety equipment. And then I also am a chassis inspector to make sure the car is legal to go at certain speeds for the certified chassis.
Now tell us about the hobbyist racer compared to the professional racer. Licensing, that sort of thing. A hobbyist that comes out with his regular car, what's he required to have?
So a hobbyist that comes out with his regular car, he has to have a valid driver's license. And if the car goes faster than 14 seconds, he needs a current helmet. Other than that, his seatbelt's on, a shirt, pants. They can't race in shorts, and they can't have cut-off shirts. But that basically will do the hobbyist.
Okay.
And as the car goes faster, there's more safety aspects to it.
Okay, and all the way up to the professional level where the top fuel cars have to be licensed and they have to be certified at being able to go down the track at those speeds. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. After 10 seconds, you need an actual racing license, and they have cutoffs. From 10 seconds to 750, you need a certain license, and then 750 and faster, you need a license. And then once you're in the professional category, you also have to have a separate license. It's certified by the NHRA or IHRA.
Okay. Yeah. Now, once everybody has these licenses and this goes on, what about insurance? If there's a crash or something, who is ultimately responsible for, let's say, a vehicle crash or something? If there's something goes on, there's a lot of no prep racing going on out there, and we see cars hitting walls that are not, necessarily, it's not very good for the car or the driver. Who's responsible for that?
Ultimately, it's the driver's responsibility to make sure he has all his safety equipment. It's the track's responsibility that you have a safe racing surface, and in certain instances, if it's a NHRA sanctioned track, you automatically, if you have a NHRA driver's license, you're covered as far as insurance as an incident on the track. So you're kind of covered that way. But some of these outlaw tracks, and when you run a lot of that no prep stuff, and you're not covered. I mean, when you race, you're pretty much racing at your own risk.
Okay, let's say there is an accident, and we had an incident at one of the local tracks here where a driver actually did get thrown from the vehicle and was killed. What is involved after that happens, and is there an investigation? Who actually takes part in that?
Okay, in a case like that, it's actually the state police that takes over the entire investigation. At that point, the track is just sitting on the sidelines waiting for the results. So it's a whole accident investigation. They try and recreate the accident. Just like a fatality out on the expressway or highway, the same intensity goes into that. Just because it was at a track, it still get investigated
by the state police.
By the state police.
Is there a review of the vehicle itself too, as far as the safety equipment on it, to make sure?
Oh, absolutely. They look at the safety equipment. I mean, once everyone gets involved, they'll look at the inspection sheet that the driver actually signed. They'll look at who signed off on it at the track to say the car was safe, and then there'll be an investigation. And say they signed off and the car didn't have seat belts, but they signed off. Now it's a liability for the track.
Okay.
Because they filled out a tech card and it was not really accurate.
Okay.
Yep.
You're not only an inspector, a chassis inspector, but you also race. You've got a Midwest Nostalgia Pro Stock car here, and that seems to be an up-and-coming group that everybody wants to see. Tell us about your car.
Well, I think it's more interest in Nostalgia Pro Stock now because the cars look like, a regular street car. My car is a 73 Duster. I have a new style Hemi in it with a Lenco, and it runs pretty good. It runs like 780s now, and it allows me to compete against my arch rival, Mark Pappas. So it's a lot of fun. We go out to different tracks. This year we're going out to North Carolina and just put on a show for the people, because a lot of people in drag racing are getting older now, and they remember these cars when Pro Stock first started. So, it's the nostalgia thing, and they enjoy it. They enjoy looking at it.
I agree. We love the group. We love the look of the cars is definitely something that draws a crowd. We appreciate you being a tech inspector and keeping us safe out there, and we're happy that you talked to us today.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks.